Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
Alright, so now let's create our organization. Let's create our management organization hierarchy. So yesterday we looked at the XYZ. Yesterday we looked at the XYZ Motors organization. Right. And you created the structure like XYZ Motors. And then it had one subordinate called XYZ Motors Executive. And then XYZ Motors Executive had two subordinates. One was XYZ Motors Manufacturing, the other one was XYZ Motors Sales, right? So why don't we try to create that structure in Workday? So let's start by creating the top-level organization. Now can anyone tell me what is the task? To create a supervisory organization. Create. I was just checking if you guys saw the video or not. Thank you. The Create Supervisory Organization. Create Supervisory Organization. That is the task that we will use to create a supervisory organization, right? We will put it in the search bar, and what needs to happen for me to be able to search there? So there are two parameters at 2 points that I mentioned. If you put something in the search bar, it will come up. It will show the task if two things are met. If you have the access to it, and then if the spellings are. So if I write something like this, you see it doesn't find anything because my spellings are wrong, right? Although my intent is correct, my spelling is wrong. So it couldn't find, and it will not be able to find the task if I don't have access to it. But we are logged in as Logan McNeil Wright. So after we sign into the tenant, after we sign into this environment, the first thing that we typically do is we check whether we are logged in as Logan McNeil or not. Right. And if we are not logged in as Logan McNeil, then what needs to happen? What do you need to do? Proxy login as Logan McNeil. You have to proxy right. So let me show you one more time what I mean. So if I just a second, so let's say, if I am logged in as someone else, okay. So maybe when you log in, this is something that comes up as your welcome page. Okay, it can be anything, but not Logan, right? If it is Logan, absolutely fine. So how to check whether you are logged in as Logan or not? So just click on your profile at the top right, and it will tell you if you are Logan McNeil. So in this case, we see it is not Logan McNeil. So then what do? We click on the search bar and say, Start Proxy, Proxy, okay. Start Proxy. So we are going to behave, or we are going to be like Logan McNeil. We are going to do our tasks with her. ID. Alright, so it will say, Act as. Who are you going to act as? So you will search for Logan McNeil. You can type in the full name, or what I prefer is L. McNeil. Okay. L. McNeil and press enter, and you are able to search for Logan. Click OK. Alright. So now we are logged in as Logan McNeil. So you see, At the top left hand of your screen, it says on behalf of Logan McNeil. And you also see Logan's picture on the top right of your screen, right? So these are the two things we must check before we start doing our activities. If you need to be proceed as someone else, it will be mentioned in the assignment. Right, for this assignment, you need to proxy as some other worker. Alright, so now let's create our supervisory organization. The task, like you all said, is create supervisory organization. You see, I'm not typing the full words. I'm only typing part of it, and that is enough. It is giving me the necessary task. You see, I typed create sup org and it found the task for me, create supervisory organization. Let me click on that. And immediately it asks me for a reorganization. Right. What is the reorganization? It's an event that we will. Yeah, it's an event that we will use to track and audit all the organization will late. It changes that we are going to make. Like whenever we are making changes to the structure. So I'm creating a supervisory organization. It means that what I'm creating, a new management hierarchy. Definitely something that needs to be tracked and audited. So my Workday will ask me, okay, why are you doing it? What is the reorganization event? We created one, right? We work. So I will search for that. If I do not have one available, then I can click on this reorganization field and I can create one as well. Like I showed you, we can create one. We can click on this, create reorganization as well, but we have created one already. We will use it. Okay, so you see the moment I am creating the organization. You see, it has come up with an availability date. The availability date has come from the reorganization date. You see, the today's date is different, right? But when I'm creating the organization with this reorganization as we work, it has picked up the availability date from the reorganization date. That's why the reorganization date effective date is very important, because that is the date from which we are going to effective date. So we will continue to follow the reorganization effective date. Now the first thing it will ask is, okay, what is the name of the supervisory organization? So for all the tasks that I'm going to do as part of this training, I'm going to use the prefix WW right. The world of this transfer. We work. I'm going to use this prefix so that you are able to recognize the tasks, the objects that were created as part of this training right. But in the real world, you do not need to give any prefix. If you will just straight away go ahead and give the name of the objects as has been specified, like XYZ Motors should be specified as XYZ Motors, and not WW_XYZ Motors. Get the point? Like when you create your objects, I would want you to use your prefix for each of the objects. Okay, like, let's say, if your name is Divya, use D, and if your surname is Simhara, use M. So DM. Okay, I see there are two people with DM. So maybe you use DM1. One of you can use DM1, the other person can use DM2, right? just to distinguish your objects, your configuration, from that of your colleagues. Alright, so we will. The first organization that we are creating is WW_XYZ Motors, and you have an option here to include the organization ID as part of the name. Now, when you create an organization work, they automatically generate the organization ID. That is the reference ID, and that is unique. Okay, we will not include it as part of the name. It just makes it too long. Now, then, there is an option to include the code. Okay, now in legacy systems, in old